Why you no longer feel like yourself. Understanding identity loss after constant survival mode. The pattern interrupt. Have you ever looked in the mirror and quietly wondered, what happened to me? You're still functioning. You're still showing up. You're still doing what needs to be done. But somewhere along the way, you stopped feeling like yourself. What if you haven't lost who you are, but simply spent too long surviving to remember? The mind care revelation. When life demands constant survival, your brain shifts from living to coping. It stops asking, what brings me joy? And starts asking, how do I get through today? Over time, survival becomes your identity, and the real you gets buried beneath responsibilities, stress, and emotional exhaustion. The reflection. Maybe you're not having an identity crisis. Maybe you're finally noticing how long you've been living on autopilot. Survival mode changes more than your mood. Survival mode isn't just feeling stressed. It's a state where your brain prioritizes safety over growth. You stop exploring. You stop dreaming. You stop creating. You become efficient at getting through the day, but disconnected from the person living it. Eventually, life becomes a checklist instead of an experience. The slow disappearance of yourself. Identity loss rarely happens all at once. It happens in small moments. You stop reading because you're too tired. You stop laughing because you're too overwhelmed. You stop pursuing hobbies because there's no time. You stop asking yourself what you want because everyone else seems to need something first. Months turn into years. Then one day, you realize you can't remember what genuinely excites you anymore. You adapted to survive. Don't confuse adaptation with failure. You became practical because you had to. Independent because you had to. Strong because you had to. Careful because you had to. These weren't flaws. They were survival strategies. The problem begins when temporary strategies become permanent identities. Healing is remembering, not becoming someone new. Many people think healing means creating a new version of themselves. Often healing is remembering the version that existed before fear took over. The curious part of you, the creative part, the peaceful part, the hopeful part. Those parts didn't disappear. They simply became quieter while survival became louder. Small moments bring you back. You don't rediscover yourself through one dramatic breakthrough. You return in small moments. A walk without your phone, listening to music you once loved, writing your thoughts, saying no without guilt, trying something new, laughing without worrying about what comes next. Identity is rebuilt through repeated moments of authenticity. Stop asking, who should I be? Instead, ask, when do I feel most like myself? Pay attention to those moments. Who are you around? What are you doing? How does your body feel? Those moments are clues. They point back to the life your nervous system experiences as safe, meaningful, and real. The mind care shift. You are not defined by your hardest season. You are not your burnout. You are not your anxiety. You are not the role you've been forced to play. Those experiences shaped you. They did not become you. Healing begins when you stop introducing yourself by your wounds and start reconnecting with your values, your passions, and your authentic self. Final reflection. If you no longer feel like yourself, don't panic. Don't rush. Don't assume you've been lost forever. Sometimes the truest version of you has simply been waiting beneath years of survival. Give yourself permission to slow down, to reconnect, to become curious again. Because the goal isn't to return to who you were before life became difficult. It's to become someone even more authentic, someone who has survived, healed, and finally learned that life is meant to be lived, not just endured.